very good afternoon, Eswatini. Welcome to your favorite teleeducation program, Home Study. It's a new week, a new day, and the same presenters, unfortunately. Okay, fortunately.
Why would you say unfortunately?
How are you today?
I'm doing good, thank you very much.
You're looking cute, eh?
Thank you so much. Good afternoon to you, Lerato, and of course, good afternoon to our viewers back at home. We are back with a bang, as always, on this beautiful, very cold Monday afternoon. How was your weekend?
My weekend was fantastic. It was just cold. I'm sure you felt the cold as well.
Most definitely, I did.
So what does today look like for all the learners?
Okay, guys, back at home, this is what your day looks like today. From 2 p.m., which is now, until 2:30 p.m., we have the grade 0 lesson. From 2:30 p.m. until 3 p.m., we have mathematics for grades 1 and 2. From 3 p.m. until 3:30 p.m., we have English language for grades 5 and 6. From 3:30 p.m. until 4 p.m., we have religious education for the Form 1s and 2s. From 4 p.m. until 4:30 p.m., we have English language for the Form 4s. And the last subject for the day is religious education from 4:30 p.m. until 5:30 p.m. for the Form 4s.
Do not forget, dear viewer, that we also have social media platforms, which are YouTube and Facebook, where we are live from 2 p.m. until 5 p.m. Please do not forget to click that subscribe button so that whenever we are live, you get a notification.
Yes, of course, and a reminder about our WhatsApp number that pops up from time to time on your screens that you can use to ask any questions during those lessons. Without wasting any time, after this very short infomercial break, we have the grade 0 lesson. Lerato will be taking you through that. We'll be right back after this.
Neseve lolu hlelo lwakho loluqhamuka khona embuthweni wembobe lolufundzisa kabanzi liphinde lixwayise sona phela seve ngathi indzaba ekuvikela bona kuqala.
Thokotela uhlelo lwakho emaphoyisa nesive kuso isikhathi lesisha njalo ngabo lesine ngensimbi yesihlanu sambama khona la Eswatini TV.
A very warm welcome back, grade 0s. This is the first lesson for today, and we are learning Siswati with teacher Kosi Simelani. Ngikubusele Tishela.
Yebo Lerato kunjani?
Ngiyaphila unjani wena?
Siyaphila na.
Namhla sizabe sifunza ngani nema grade 0?
Namhla sizabe sifunza ngetipho temtimba kudisho.
Oh, okay. Umfundi ubhekeke ukuthi abafundzeni ekupheleni kwalesifundo.
Ekupheleni kwalesifundo umfundi kubhekeke kube afunze kusho titfo takhe temtimba, akhone futhi nekubala netinombolo ngeSiswati.
Okay, ngaphandle kwecitha isikhathi ngicela usicale isifundo sakho.
Ngiyabonga Lerato. Sivusele mfundzi ekhaya, siyakwemukela nalamuhla esifundweni sethu salamuhla utabe unaye tishela wakho Khosi Simelani. Sichubekeke bafundzi sitawuqala sisho emalanga eliviki. Ngabe niyawati ukuthi mangakhi emalanga eliviki? Lomunye uthi asihlanu, lomunye uthi mangakhi, lomunye uthi asithupha. Kanti ke emalanga ethu eliviki asikhombisa sekawonke. Sitawasho kanye kanye. Lisonto, umsombuluko, lesibili, lesithathu, lesine, lesihlanu, umgcibelo. Asiphindze siwasho umfundzi kanye kanye nyaloke sekude lotawuthula sitawasho emalanga ethu eliviki. Lisonto, umsombuluko, lesibili, lesithathu, lesine, lesihlanu, umgcibelo. Wende kahle kakhulu mfundzi usasho emalanga eliviki. Sifuna kwati ke ukuthi namuhla sikuliphi lilanga leliviki. itolo siyakhumbula ukuthi bekulisonto ngoba besiye emasontweni ethu lahlukahlukene. Namuhla ke ngabe nguliphi sikuliphi lilanga leliviki. Kuba lisonto bese kuta umsombuluko. Lokusho ukuthi namuhla umsombuluko. Nali ligama lengiliphethe lelisikhombisa ukuthi namuhla umsombuluko. Sitakulibeka la bese sisho kanye mfundzi sithi lamuhla umsombuluko. Awuwenda kahle mfundzi phinza futhi lamuhla umsombuluko. Siyabonga kusho emalanga ethu elivike kanye. Asichubeke mfundzi sihambe sisho simo selitulo. Wonke umuntu uyafuna kwathi ukuthi namuhla ngabe simo selitulo sinjani. Mina la ngikhona namuhla liyana. Kumakhada liyana. Ngakho ke thina nasisakhula bese nemidlalo wethu bese udlala umalina. Sithi Cabo zibampa bami cabo lapho lamanti lalapha phasi ayasithela etinyaweni tethu kube kuhle kube mnanzi. Nasi sithombe sethu siyababona bayadlala cabo ngoba linjani liyana mfundzi. Lesithombe sethu lesi singitshengisa ukuthi liyana. Sitawuchubeka ke mfundzi sihambe sibuke ishape yethu yalamuhla. Uma sikhuluma ngeshape yethu ke yalamuhla sitawukhuluma ngeshape leyindingilizi. Sitawukhuluma ngeshape leyini leyindingilizi. Nayi indingilizi lengiyiphethe lesikhombisa ukuthi ishape lena iyindingilizi. Sitakuyibeka la ishape yethu leyindingilizi. Sinalenye futhi ishape la lengiyiphethe nayo futhi solo iyindingilizi mane yona yinkhulu lena sithi yindingilizi lenkhulu bese lesiyibeke lapha etulo yindingilizi lencane. La tindingilizi tami totimbili tiyafana ngemibala kodwa atifani ngebukhulu bato. Lena yindingilizi lenkhulu, lena yindingilizi lencane. Ngiyabonga mfundzi kulandzela sisasho ishape yethu yalamuhla. Sitawugijima sibuke umbala walamuhla. Uyathanza kwathi ukuthi namhla sitawufunza ngembala lonjani. Ngikutsite mfundzi namuhla sitabe sifunza ngembala loluhlata njengesibhakabhaka. Lena shape yami lengiyiphethe sithi umbala wayo uluhlata njengesibhakabhaka. Nalena shape yami lengiyibeke lapha etulo sithi iluhlata njengesibhakabhaka. Dinengi ke tinfo letinye lengitani khomba tona leti sitshengisako umbala loluhlata njengesibhakabhaka. Sitawubuka kanye nati tithombe tethu. La nginana sithombe sami. Lesithombe singikhombisa ini? Yebo mfundzi singikhombisa timbali leti kulesithombe nato tiluhlata njengesibhakabhaka. Ngiyabonga mfundzi kulandzela kahle kangaka. Nasi lesinye sithombe. Lesi sithombe sona singikhombani? Sidududu. Mfundzi wami cha uyakhona kubona. Uyawabona yini emasondvo alesidududu? Yebo nawo ayindingilizi. Umbala walesidududu sithi uluhlata njengesibhakabhaka. Dinengi kakhulu ke bafundzi letinye tinfo letingaba luhlata njengesibhakabhaka. Kube belingani ngaphandle besitawusibuka sibhakabhaka kuthi siluhlata kanjani. Kodwa mzukwane libalele sitawubona ukuthi sibhakabhaka siluhlata kanje lombala lo. Usithi lombala lo uluhlata njengesibhakabhaka. Asichubeke mfundzi siye usibuka umsindvo wenkhulumo walamuhla. Umsindvo walamuhla kutaba ngumsindvo nawo umsindvo asisho kanye mfundzi sithi akhona ke emagama lengitani khomba sawona la sithi nasiwabita lamagama awufake lo msindvo wenkhulumo lo msindvo longu. Siyabonga ke mfundzi hamba nami sesibuka nanka tithombe letisinika emagama lafaka umsindvo. Lapha nginanasi sithombe sami. Kulesithombe kunafecele. Uma ubita leli gama lelithi fecele lapha ekuqaleni umsindvo longu uyevakala. Umsindvo longu uyevakala. Uma usho uthi fecele. Nangu-ke fecele sithombe sakhe. Uma futhi sibuka nasi lesinye sithombe. Lesi-ke sithombe sona sisikhombisa lifutfo. Uma ubita leli gama lifutfo, awuqalisi ngalomsimbo kodwa uyevakala emkhathini usalibita leli gama. Asiphinze sisho ligama lifutfo. Uyawuva mfundzi umsimbo wenkhulumo longu. Sinalo-ke futhi lekugcina. Nasibuka la sibona kwentekani. Sibona umuno uyafaqada. La ligama lesililanzile faqada. Faqada. Uma ufaqada uyawuva lo msimvo. Uma ulisho leli gama lo msimvo uwuva kahle ukuthi cha uyevakala. Faqada. Siqhubeke mfundzi wami siye kiyo inombolo yalamuhla. Siyayithanda ke inombolo kakhulu, siyathanda kubala, siyathanda kwenda inkumbi yetimfo uma sesidlala bese sesiyabala. Namuhla sitawubala inombolo tetfu. Sibale sifike kulokune. Uma sikhuluma ngenombolo yethu ke yalamuhla sikhuluma ngakune. Asibale ke mfundzi sitawuqala sibale ngetandla tetfu sisebenzise iminwe. Sibone ukuthi sitawubala sigcine kukune nasifika kumuphi umuntu. Asiqale ke mfundzi. Kunye, kubili, kuthathu, kune. Uma sengimise lemino yami le, sengimise iminwe lemine. Siphinze sibale mfundzi. Kunye, kubili, kuthathu, kune. Inombolo yethu yalamuhla inombolo kune. Nayi nasiyibhala ngaleli ndlela le. Sitawuphinza mfundzi sibale sibuke naku lokusikhombako. Sithi kunye. Naku kunye. Siphinze sibale sithi kubili. Uma sibuka la esithombeni sami sithini kubili. Siqhubeke mfundzi sibale sithi kuthathu. Kulesi sithombe sami sithini kuthathu. Siphinze sibale mfundzi sithi kune. Sibale sithi kune. Asesibale mfundzi nanka emahabhula ethu kulesi sithombe kuthi mangaki. Kunye, kubili, kuthathu, kune. Sekungaki kune. Siyabonga ke mfundzi. Kunengi lesisata ukubala sibone ukuthi inombolo yethu kune ifika nakukungaki. Sitawubala nati timbali tethu. Tinemibala leyehlukene kodwa sitawubuka ukuthi dingaki. Asitibale kanye mfundzi. Kunye, kubili, kuthathu, kune. Timbali tethu tingaki? Tine. Sikule nombolo kune. Siphinze mfundzi sibale kunasi sithombe sethu. Kulesithombe lesi ke mfundzi sitawubala ukuthi lentsha lekulesithombe inangaki wemilende. Asiyibale mfundzi. Kunye, kubili, kuthathu, kune. Sithola imilende lemine. Kune. Inombolo yethu yalamuhla nombolo kune. Asibale kwekugcina mfundzi siqale kukunye siyofika kukune. Kunye, kubili, kuthathu, kune. Wende kahle kakhulu mfundzi so uyawukwati kubala. Ngiyabona nawe futhi ujabulile uyamamatheka. Asichubeke mfundzi sibuke sifundvo sethu salamuhla. Namuhla ke mfundzi wami sitabe sifundza ngetitfo temtimba. Umtimba wethu lo lesinawo unetitfo letahlukene. Namuhla sitabe siloku sisho titfo temtimba. Sitawe hamba kanye mfundzi ungiside nami ukuthi ingabe la kulesithombe sethu lesibeka kiso vele sibeka khona kahle. Umtimba unenhloko. Inhloko. Nasi sithombe sami mfundzi sifuna ukuthi lo mufu wethu lo aphelele. Siyabeka inhloko. inhloko iba nebuso buso bethu lo inhloko inebuso bese siba nemehlo umlomo nempumulo umtimba uphinza futhi ube namtimba lomunye nangumtimba wakhe losaphelele lomunye solo sifuna ukubona titfo tetfu temtimba umtimba wakhe lulu sichubeke sibe nemikhono imikhono yethu iba mibili kuba newesekudla newesenxele lo umkhono wakhe wokuqala umkhono wakhe wokuqala uhambisana nesandla solo ditfo tetfu temtimba sibuye sibeke lomunye umkhono wakhe wesibili nawo umkhono wesibili uhambisana nesandla sibuye umtimba ube nemilente imilente yethu nayo mibili lona umlente wakhe wokuqala lohambisana nelunyawo uhambisana nelunyawo kube ngumlente wakhe wesibili ube nalo futhi lunyawo asiphinze mfundzi sale sisho tonke titfo tetfu temtimba inhloko imikhono tandla imilende tinyawo siyabonga mfundzi kufunza kanye nathi titfo tetfu temtimba singakaqhubeki ke mfundzi kulelanga lanamuhla siyabona ukuthi ufunzile ngetitfo takho temtimba wafunza inombolo yalamuhla legune sabala timbali tetfu satikhanza ukuthi tine nale timbali saphinze mfundzi sawenda umsindvo wenkhulumo longu salisho ligama faqata sabuye sasho ligama lifutho sabuye sawubona umbala walamuhla loluhlata njengesibhakabhaka sakhuluma nangeshape yalamuhla indingilizi sengidawucela ke mfundzi ukuthi uthathe liphepha ekhaya bese ungudwebela indingilizi lencane nalenkhulu uyifake umbala wakho loluhlata njengesibhakabhaka ngiyabonga mfundzi
Sibonge kakhulu Thishela Khosi besimnanzi kakhulu isifundo sethu namuhla sethemba ukuthi utawuphinza ubuye nalesinye isifundo lesimnanzi njengalesi
ngiyabonga le radio sitawuphinza futhi sibuye
okay mangabe ufunza libanga lekucala ngoma lesibili ungayinzawo uyabuya Thishela Winile kanye nami le radio makuphela yona le break le
Buhle bethu imvelo yethu buhle bethu tindzawo tethu indalo yashada nemasiko kuhle kwethu kuvakasha kwethula umthwalo emahlombe ethu hloma ngwane vuka uvakashe indlela uyikhombe etindzaweni tethu temvelo nembukiso ungcebeleke uthathe netithombe lalela ke nangu sonkondlo waseswatini akutekela ayibeka indzaba ayihlela kuhle kwelijaha lishela ngiyakutshela diningi tindzawo longativakashela hloma ngwane vuka uvakashe la phana lapha kuvakasha kuyayelapha enhlitiyo kanye nemicondvo kuyawuphumuta uqinisa buhlobo nebungane losebundenga ndenga with a trip to Mantenga Falls or a sip among friends of Sibebe brew on Sibebe Mountain, or perhaps your cup of tea is backpacking and horse riding, sightseeing the seamless streams and springs that stream across the gorgeous valleys of the mountainous kingdoms of Eswatini. We have you covered. Hloma ngwane vuka uvakashe buhle bethu yimvelo yethu buhle bethu ngabuthola nasebantwini bethu.
the change in technology, out-of-home digital media is designed to grab the attention of people who are always on the go. You can now watch your favorite show, Usile Breakfast Show, and Tinzaba at 7 on your favorite YouTube channel.
It's simple. You can stream these shows by following these quick, easy steps. Number 1, open YouTube. Number 2, search for Eswatini TV and click on Eswatini TV. Number 3, after you had entered on Eswatini TV, look for Tinzaba or KPS. And while you're at it, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell button to get notifications of our video uploads and streams. And lastly, enjoy the stream. Stay home and watch Eswatini TV. Stay safe.
Why should we pay our TV license?
The content on our local television is actually more up to date. The industry is enhanced.
It is a criminal offense not to pay your TV license and attracts a fine of 500 emalangeni or 6 months imprisonment.
And the industry is definitely blooming, ladies and gentlemen. So that's what we have for you. But we'll be right back just after the break and we'll give you more of Miss V.
Pay my TV license. That's why I can enjoy the benefits of an enhanced industry and keep track with recent transformation.
Mommy, who paid for a TV license and what are they paying for?
The owners of TV set and a gadget with a tuner like DVD set have to pay.
Pay your TV license at NetBank with the details provided on screen. Or use your cell phone via the mobile money pay. You could also visit your nearest post office and pay there. Pay your TV license via Eswatini Mobile Imali. Any TV device retailer can purchase a license to trade. Pay your TV license and enhance the industry.
Sinibusele maswati lamahle kanye nabo bonke bazalwane eveni laseSwatini. Igama lami ngingayandazwane Health Promotions Officer walohlelo lolushasha lolubitwa ngekuthi yi-Faith and Community Initiative kafishane FCI.
Njengoba sisho sobe sikhuluma ngokusebenzisana nebandla bafundisi nisho njalo namabandla anebantu akhiwa abantu lebafikayo lebangela lamaswati lesikhuluma and kuyindlela kuba ngiyona leyo platform lenye lekubonakala ukuthi singayisebenzisa kwabonakala even then ukuthi singayisebenzisa ukuthi sikhone ukuthi sifike kubo bonke abantu
ikakhulu lubuke ukuthi bantu basitakale kwekuqala enzabeni ukuthi kwanze umsebenzi wokuvikela igciwane le-HIV la kangwane.
But labantu bebathi disclose bona batisho bona sibanjani baphathekile bathandazelwe labo bantu labo nabativa abangcono bebasithatha hayi ngithiva sengiphilile mina asizange ngisho kanye ndakunika nje good example sibatshela sabayekela amaphilisi
namhla ke ngibheka ukuthi ukuthatha indvodza into ukuthatha babe ukuthi asade isimo sakhe sengadi kumcoka ukuthi usade isimo sengadi kuze utokhombisa luthando lonalo emndenini wakho utokhombisa luthando lonalo nasemphakathini.
Emaphoyisa neseve lolu hlelo lwakho lolichamuka khona embuthweni wembobe lolifundzisa kabanti liphindze lixwayise sona phela seve ngato tindzaba tekuvikela bona kuqala.
Thokotela uhlelo lwakho emaphoyisa nesive kuso sikhathi lesisha njalo ngabolesine ngensimbi yesihlanu nsambama khona la Eswatini TV.
At it again, once again, what it is, it's the biggest, the dopest, the freshest. The biggest, the dopest, the freshest, the sickest. It's the illest. Illest. It's the biggest, the dopest, the freshest, the sickest, the illest. Anytime on your TV screens, it's TBD. Welcome to it, ladies and gentlemen. It is the Beatdown. Yeah.
Hi guys, this is Lyra and you're watching The Beatdown.
Welcome back, grade 1s and 2s. This is the second subject for today, and it is mathematics time with teacher Welile Dlamini. My name is Lerato Mabilisa, and also joining me in the studio is the sign language interpreter Nomcebo Dlamini. A very good afternoon, teacher Welile.
Good afternoon, Lerato. How are you, Sisi?
I'm alright. How are you today?
Oh, I'm good. Long time. Hey.
Long time. Good to be back.
Yes, I'm back with the foundation phase now.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So today's topic is counting.
Indeed.
What would you expect the grade 2s to have learned by the end of this lesson?
Grade 2 learner at home, you are supposed to learn more about counting. This time you are going to learn from 0 to 100. You are going to count in ones, in twos, in threes, in fives and tens. You are going to count in ones, twos, fives and tens. We are going to be using a 100 square grid. And of course you are going to need your books. You are going to need your pencils. So get ready, learner at home, grade 2. You are there.
Okay, thank you very much, ma'am. Without wasting any time, please begin your lesson.
Thank you very much, Lerato. We are going to be looking at our countings, and the counting has to go on using songs. Our introduction is going to start with counting from 1 to 20. 1 to 20. Look at the numbers, the words that we are going to be using. We are going to use the words like count, recite, forwards, backwards. For the introduction, we'll do what we did in grade 1, counting from 0 to 20. I will count for you first, and you go with me on the number line. From there, we are going to enjoy singing a song by counting from 1 to 20. Get ready, learner at home. Let us count together. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. We've done that from 0 to 20. Now we are going to sing a song together from 1 to 20. Get ready, get ready, get ready, yes. Let's count 1, 2, 3.
Let's count 1, 2, 3.
Everybody count with me.
Everybody count with me.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
11, 12, 13.
11, 12, 13.
14, 15, 16.
14, 15, 16.
17, 18.
17, 18.
19, 20.
19, 20.
Everybody count 1, 2, 3.
Everybody count 1, 2, 3.
Everybody count with me.
Everybody count with me.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
11, 12, 13.
11, 12, 13.
14, 15, 16.
14, 15, 16.
17, 18.
17, 18.
19, 20.
19, 20.
Everybody count 1, 2, 3.
Everybody count 1, 2, 3.
Everybody count with me.
Everybody count with me.
Everybody count with me.
Everybody count with me.
Everybody count with me. Everybody count with me. Wow, 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 wow. That was lovely. That was lovely. That was lovely. Yes, now we've counted our numbers from 0 to 20. Let us move on to our lesson for today, counting in ones from 1 to 100. It is going to be a grid. A 100 square chart is going to work on this, and we are going to recite together. We start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We move on. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Now our new numbers: 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. You still there, Lena? 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. Yes, we are halfway now. We are continuing. 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100. We've done it now. We were counting 4 words. We were counting 4 words. That means we were counting this direction, this direction, this direction, this direction. Remember, when we were talking about our new words, we said we are going to count forwards and backwards. Forwards and backwards. Let us do counting backwards, which means we are moving backwards from where we ended. Remember, we ended in 100, which means we are now going to count from 100, going back to 1. 100, 99, 98, 97, 96, 95, 94, 93, 92, 91, 90, 89, 88, 87, 86, 85, 84, 83, 82, 81, 80, 79, 78, 77, 76, 75, 74, 76, 73, 72, 71, 70. Now, Leonard at home, let us move fast. We have all seen that this is how we count when we are counting backwards. Faster now, this direction. 69, 68, 67, 66, 65, 64, 63, 62, 61, 60, 59, 58, 57, 56, 55, 54, 53, 52, 51, 50. Let us do the activity here. We are going to count forwards from 14 to 21. 14 to 21. This is our number 14, which means we're going to start here. We count forwards, all these numbers, to 21. We do that 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. That is counting forwards. We jump to counting backwards from 99 to 88. 99 to 88. This is our 99. We are counting backwards. Backwards to here. 99, 98, 97, 96, 95, 94, 93, 92, 91, 90, 89, 88. The last one, we shall count from 23 to 15 backwards. This is 23. We are moving on backwards, this direction to 15. Here is 15. 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15. We have counted forwards and backwards in ones. Now we are going to count in twos. You are going to look at the grid that I have in front of you from 1 to 100 once again, and I have shaded all the numbers that are counting in twos. Counting in twos. Let us quickly go through counting in twos from 2 to 100. We have to be a little bit faster so that we do our activities, Lena. This is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40, 42, 44, 46, 48, 50, 52, 54, 56, 58, 60, 62, 64, 66, 68, 70, 72, 74, 76, 78, 80, 82, 84, 86, 88, 90, 92, 94, 96, 98, 100. As we did with counting in ones, we also count backwards. Quickly once again, 100, 98, 96, 94, 92, 90, 88, 86, 84, 82, 80, 78, 76, 74, 72, 70, 68, 66, 64, 62, 60, 58, 56, 54, 52, 50, 48, 46, 44, 42, 40, 38, 36, 34, 32, 30, 28, 26, 24, 22, 20, 18, 16, 14, 12, 10, 8, 6, 4, and 2. We've done it. Let us do. We're going to pick one exercise here. You can do it on your own, counting from 2 to 24 forwards. With me, we're going to do counting from 46 to 62. Let us identify 46. This is 46 to 62. This number is 62 here. We are counting forwards. 46, 48, 50, 62. We're done. Let us count backwards from 18 to 12. Backwards, 18 to 12. Let us identify this number 18. I circle 18 here to 12, and this is 12. We are counting backwards this time. Starting from 18 down to 12. Let us count 18, 16, 14, and 12. This is 12. Backwards again from 78 to 56. We circle 78 here. This is 78, and then we're going to end in 56. We are counting backwards. There we are. There we are. And there we are. 78, 76, 74, 72, 70, 68, 66, 64, 62, 60, 58, and 56. We were counting in twos. We are moving on to counting in fives. Counting in fives. Counting in fives. Which means we are going to be moving. I have highlighted all the numbers that are in fives, which means we are going to be counting 5 squares, and we highlight 5 squares, then we have a column. Count 5 squares, we have a color. That one is going to be much easier now. We are looking at this grid. It means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There is a color. It means we're counting in fives. Once again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have a color. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have a color. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have a color. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so on up to 100. Let us count all the colored numbers. We are going to be reading all the colored numbers. We go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, 95, 100. We're counting forwards. We were counting forwards. You can see we're moving at this direction. This is the direction that we were moving. We can all see. Let us count backwards. Starting from 100, moving at this direction. Now, we are going to be moving at this direction. Backwards. We start counting from 100. 100, 95, 90, 85, 80, 75, 70, 65, 60, 55, 50, 45, 40, 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, and 5. We are done. Here is an activity now. Counting forwards from 10 to 55. 10 to 55. Our 10 is here. And here is 55. We are going to be counting all the fives that are between this range. From here, all this way, we are moving forwards this direction. We start 10, 15, or let me write them here. We have 10, 15, and here 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, here 50, and here we have 55. These are the numbers from 10 to 20. 10 to 20. Now let us count backwards. In fives, backwards in fives. From 85 to 45. Here is 85. And the number to 45 is here. We are counting backwards. 85, 80, 75, 60. Sorry. 85, 80, 75, 70, 65, 60, 55, 50, 55. Due to time, let us move quickly and look at counting in tens. In tens, they are in red. Let us count in tens. All the numbers in red. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. We're counting forwards. Let us count how many objects are here. Look at the picture. It is in your book. Let us count. These are in twos. This is 2. This is 4. This is 6. This is 8. This is 10. This is 12. This is 14. This is 16. This is 18. And this is 20. Which means there are 20 socks here. And how many are there in these objects? We are going to count them in fives. They are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they are circled. This is 5, 10, 15, 20. They are also 20. In tens now, these are 10 objects. This is 10, and this is 20, which means the teacher is correct when she was counting them. In conclusion, dear learner at home, we have recited numbers from 1 to 100 forwards and backwards. and we counted forwards and backwards in 2s up to 100. We also counted forwards and backwards in 5s up to 100. We also counted in 10s up to 100, and we also counted objects. Due to time, we cannot sing our lovely rhyme from 1 to 100. Next time when we meet, we're going to sing the rhyme on 100, on numbers 100.
Okay, thank you very much, Teacher Welile. This maths lesson was very interesting, and we're hoping that you're going to come again with the song.
Indeed, Lerata, it's very nice.
Okay, so grade 5s and 6s, I hope that you are ready, because after this infomercial, Teacher Welile Langwenya is back after the infomercial with me, Lerato Mabilisa, of course. So grade 5s and 6s, grab a snack, because we will be back after this infomercial.
Buhle bethu imvelo yethu. Buhle bethu tindzawo tethu. Indalo yashada nemasiko kuhle kwethu. Kuvakasha kwethula umthwalo emahlombe ethu. Hloma ngwane vuka uvakashe indlela uyikhombe etindzaweni tethu. Temvelo nembukiso ungcebeleke uthathe netithombe. Lalela ke nangu sonkondlo waseswatini akutekela, ayibeka indzaba ayihlela, kuhle kwelijaha lishela ngiyakutshela, diningi tindzawo longativakashela, hloma ngwane vuka uvakashela, phana lapha kuvakasha kuyayelapha enhlitiyo kanye nemqondo kuyawuphumuda, uqinisa buhlobo nebungane losebundenga ndenga, with a trip to Mantenga Falls or a sip among friends of Sibebe Brew on Sibebe Mountain, or perhaps your cup of tea is backpacking and horse riding, sightseeing the seamless streams and springs that stream across the gorgeous valleys of the mountainous kingdoms of Eswatini. We have you covered. Hloma ngwane vuka uvakashe, buhle bethu imvelo yethu, buhle bethu ngabuthola nasebantwini bethu.
The change in technology, out-of-home digital media is designed to grab the attention of people who are always on the go. You can now watch your favorite show, Usile Breakfast Show and Dinzaba at 7 on your favorite YouTube channel.
It's simple. You can stream these shows by following these quick, easy steps. Number 1, open YouTube. Number 2, search for Eswatini TV and click on Eswatini TV. Number 3, after you had entered on Eswatini TV, look for Dinzaba or KPS. And while you at it, don't forget to like, subscribe and ring the bell button to get notifications of our video uploads and streams. And lastly, enjoy the stream. Stay home and watch Eswatini TV. Stay safe.
Emaphoyisa neseve lolu hlelo lwakho loluqhamuka khona embuthweni wembobe lolufundzisa kabanti liphindze lixwayise sona phela seve ngato tindzaba tekuvikela bona kucala.
Thokotela uhlelo lwakho emaphoyisa nesive kuso sikhathi lesisha njalo ngabolesine ngensimbi yesihlanu ntambama khona la Eswatini TV.
I'm
Welcome back, grade 5s and 6s. If you have just tuned in, you are right on time. Do not forget to watch the channel, or to watch the show rather, on our YouTube page or our Facebook page on Eswatini TV Home Study Program. My name is Lirato Mabilisa, and with me is the English language teacher Welile Langwenya and the sign language interpreter Nompumelelo Hadebe. A very good afternoon, ma'am.
A very good afternoon to you, Lerato.
How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm all right. So, today's topic is descriptive composition.
Precisely.
Okay, what would you expect the viewer to have learned by the end of the lesson?
At the end of the lesson, Lerato, I will expect the learner to describe descriptive composition, to list the components of a descriptive composition, and then I will expect the learner to write a descriptive composition where he or she will be describing a place.
Okay, without wasting any time, please begin your lesson.
Absolutely. Good day, learners at home. Your teacher today is Miss W. Langwenya. As I have mentioned earlier, the lesson is on a descriptive composition. I hope you have your pen and a paper to write on. Hopefully you have sanitized your hands, dear learners. Now, without wasting much time, let us define what a descriptive composition is. A descriptive composition is one that describes, meaning that the exact picture of the writer's idea is painted in the reader's mind. This type of composition, dear learner, makes use of adjectives and the 5 senses, which are the sense of sight, hearing, touch, taste, and smell. Dear learner, let us remind ourselves quickly what an adjective is. An adjective is a describing word. This describes a noun or a pronoun. So an adjective is a describing word. It tells us more about nouns and pronouns. Let us have a look at examples that we have. A brown dress. Brown tells us more about the dress. It could have been a purple dress, a pink dress. So colors in this case are our adjectives. A naughty boy. Naughty in this phrase is an adjective. It tells us more about the noun boy. Our last example, an adventurous person. This person could be a lazy one. It could be a beautiful one. So these words that I have used to describe the person are known as adjectives. Dear Elena, back to our topic. What can we describe? We can be asked to describe a place, a person, or an event. So today we shall be describing a place, dear Elena. Let us quickly look at the components of a descriptive composition. What is a descriptive composition made up of? It is made up of a topic. So a topic tells us what the composition is all about. It must be written at the center of the very first line of our page, the page that you will use during your test or exams. So the topic should appear at the center and on the first line of the page. You may write it using capital letters, dear Elena, or you may choose to capitalize the first letter of every word. Remember, dear Elena, you need to underline your topic from the first letter to the last letter. If you have done all this, dear Elena, you have your topic now. Next will be an introduction. This is where you briefly tell us what you will be talking about, briefly, meaning that you don't expose all your points here. It should catch the reader's attention, or rather, it should make the reader want to read what you have written. Next, you will have the body. This is where you tell us more about the topic. You expand. It is divided into paragraphs. You may have 3 or 4 of the paragraphs, dear learner. The body has what we call main ideas. Each main idea is found in each paragraph. Avoid mixing main ideas. We shall talk about this later, dear learner. Then lastly, you have your conclusion. This is the last part of a composition where you share your thoughts or feelings. No main idea should appear in your conclusion, dear learner. If you have all these, dear learner, we say you have a composition. Let us have an instruction that we will work on and see what we were talking about, dear learner. Suppose your instruction says, you and your family have spent your festive season in a number of hotels, but one has stood out for you, meaning it has been your favorite. Now write a composition describing your favorite hotel. Note this, dear learner, this is the most important part of the question. Write a composition describing your favorite hotel. You will need to come up with a topic now, dear learner. Let me help you find one. A topic comes from the instruction or the question, the one we have just read. So here are a few examples of topics that I have. Remember, we said you may choose to write it in capital letters only. So for the instruction that we have just read, our topic may say, my favorite hotel. Or you may choose to capitalize the first letter of every word in the topic. My favorite hotel. Now you have your topic, dear learner. Let us move on to an introduction. If we are describing a place, your introduction, dear learner, should show the name and location of the place. When we are talking about a location of a place, we are talking about where the place is found. Here is an example. I have been to a number of hotels, but Hilton Garden Hotel is my favorite. It is located in the Hoho region at the heart of the capital city, Mbabane. Now, dear learner, we can tell what the name of the place is, Hilton Garden Hotel. Also, if I want to get to Hilton Garden Hotel, I know where it is located now. I first need to be in the Hoho region, then be at the heart of the capital city, Mbabane. There you are. You have your introduction. Before we begin our body, we need to do what we call planning, or rather brainstorming. This is where we come up with points, or rather useful points that we are going to use to develop our paragraphs. Remember, we said your paragraphs can be 3 or 4. Now, when brainstorming, dear learner, we use WH question words. These are who, what, when, how, which, why, where, or whose. Suppose with my favorite hotel, I want to talk about surroundings, food, buildings, and rooms. So all these 3 things that I have are called main ideas, dear learner. I need to develop them using the WH questions, like I have said earlier on. If I want to talk about surroundings, I am going to mention who takes care of the surroundings, maybe. What kind of flowers are grown in the surroundings? Why are the surroundings taken care of? And so forth and so forth. Then we come to our next main idea, food. Who prepares the food? What type of food is served? What is your favorite meal? How is the food served? Then lastly, buildings and rooms. What type of furniture is found in each room? How are the rooms arranged? Who takes care of these rooms? Why are these rooms taken care of, basically? Now I do know what I have to say on my paragraphs, dear Elena. Let us have an example that I have. The hotel has beautiful surroundings. Just at the center of the hotel, there is a flower garden where only red roses are grown. These roses are often trimmed into a star and have been used by people who visit the hotel to take pictures. At night, the garden flashes different colors to give the hotel an awesome view. With my first paragraph, dear Elena, I have tried to highlight the adjectives because this is a descriptive composition. It should make use of adjectives or describing words. So in my example of paragraph 1, beautiful tells us more about surroundings. Red tells us more about the roses. Different tells us more about the colors. And lastly, awesome describes the view. So my paragraph is full of adjectives. Now I can safely say I have written my first paragraph in a descriptive composition. Let us move on to our paragraph 2. The hotel has fabulous buildings and rooms. The buildings are arranged in a heart shape and are painted in mint green and pale pink. The guest rooms in the hotel are to die for. They are covered in white and gold. In white and gold linen and have a refreshing scent. That's a smell, dear Elena. These rooms consist of large bathrooms decorated in Italian marble, tiles, and stones. Indeed, the dining befits royal status as it has nothing but gold furniture and cutlery. Dear Elena, paragraph 2 simply took care of buildings and rooms. I didn't mention anything about surroundings or food. That is what we mean when we say do not mix main ideas in one paragraph. So this paragraph is entirely about buildings and rooms. Now let us move on to our last paragraph. I have chosen to have 3 paragraphs in my composition. Remember, you may have 3 or 4. But what is most important is that each paragraph takes care of one main idea. Paragraph 3 says, only mouth-watering food is cooked at this hotel. It is always fresh and appetizing. They provide an outstanding buffet for dinner that includes starters, the main menu, beverages, and desserts. I mostly enjoy their English breakfast though. Again, dear Elena, I have adjectives. I have tried to describe the nouns that I have used in this paragraph. This is what you should also do with your paragraphs. The more you use describing words or adjectives, the better. Lastly, we will write a conclusion. In our conclusion, there is no new idea. You simply state your thoughts and feelings. Let us read what I have here. I love the scenic hotel because it's the most refreshing place that I have ever been to. This is what I feel about Hilton Garden Hotel. I love it. Dear Elena, if you have written all this, you have your composition. We call it a descriptive composition. So in short, our lesson today simply looked at a descriptive composition whereby we described a place. We said it uses adjectives or describing words. A place A person or an event may be described. Today we were describing a place, dear Lena. A composition, we said it should have a topic, an introduction, the body, and a conclusion. When describing a place, the name and location of the place are used to introduce the composition. Now, dear Lena, I would like you to write your own compositions at home. I will leave you with an instruction that you will use. Let us read it together. Changing schools is always an exciting experience for almost every learner. You are one of those who have started classes in a new school. Describe your school. Remember, dear learner, you will first need to come up with a topic. It always comes from the instruction or the question. You will need to have an introduction. When you are describing a place, we said you include the name of the place. So in this exercise, I will expect you to write the name of your school and where it is found or its location. You will have 3 paragraphs or 4. Then lastly, you will have a conclusion. Now you will have your composition. Thank you, dear Lena. I hope you have enjoyed today's lesson and good luck with your exercise.
Okay, thank you very much, teacher. And that's a very interesting lesson. That was a very interesting lesson, sorry. And I'm sure that they have to do the assignment and they will do it. Learner at home, please do not forget that we have a WhatsApp number. So for your assignment, you can send your assignment on the WhatsApp number, which is going to pop up on the screen, which is already on the screen. So please send your questions and your answers on the WhatsApp number. We also have a YouTube page and a Facebook page where we are live from 2 p.m. until 5 p.m. Right. So after this lesson, Nogwazi will be back with the Form 1 and Form 2 teacher. So if you are doing Form 1 or Form 2, do not go anywhere because the religious education teacher will be back. YouTubers, we see you. So the answer to your question is the religious education teacher is after this lesson. Thank you very much for joining us today, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Okay, so we'll see you after this infomercial, guys.
It is important every now and then to check, am I still in the receiving hand of God, or am I in the receiving hand of the lies from the enemy?
Salvation is free because Christ paid for everything, and that's true. But discipleship will cost you everything.
Love each other as if your life depends on it.
As a canvas reflects the nature of a personality or an artist, so creation teaches us about who God is.
We are made great by becoming small. We are exalted when we're humble.
Healing, hope, restoration. Amazing stories of real people like you who have triumphed over tragedy. Watch Turning Point International and be inspired to reach your turning point.
It really ministers to the soul of man, and as a pastor you benefit a lot because people learn and they learn how to cope with issues probably you don't even deal with in your sermons.
It's not reality TV, it's real life TV.
A very warm welcome back to our viewers and a very good afternoon if you have just joined us. This is Home Study on Eswatini TV. My name is Nogwazi Dlamini, and right now we are doing religious education for the Form 1s and Form 2s with Nomfundo Dlamini. Also joining me in the studio is our sign language interpreter, Nomcebo Dlamini. How are you doing today?
I'm good, because how are you?
I'm doing good, thank you very much. Welcome back.
It's been too long.
It's been a while. All right, today we're doing creation in our lesson.
Yes.
What are you expecting your Form 1s and Form 2s to have learned by the end of the lesson?
To just understand how God created everything in just 6 days.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
In just 6
In
days.
just
6
6
days.
days.
That's how amazing it was.
Yes.
All right, we hope that the Form 1s and the Form 2s are ready for their lesson. And of course, a reminder that we are live right now on YouTube and on Facebook. If you have any questions, please feel free to use our WhatsApp number. Nomfundo, I think you may begin with your lesson.
Thank you, Koshi. Good afternoon, dear learners at home, my dear Form 1s and my dear Form 2s. I hope you are seated for this lesson too. As revision, we are looking at the creation story, as Nogwazi had just said. So we understand how God made everything in just 6 days. By the end of this lesson, you should be able to describe the state of the universe before the creation. You should be able to give an account of God's creation according to Genesis 1 and according to Genesis 2. You should also be able to describe the attributes of God, according to the creation accounts. Okay. You should also be able to explain how humans are different from the rest of God's creation, even though they are part of God's creation as well. You should also be able to explain why God created the universe. What was the purpose of God creating the universe? So it is very important for you to listen attentively as the lesson progresses. I do hope that your Bibles and your book 1, RE book, is ready. Okay. I want us to look at this picture.
Okay. Okay, Nomfundo, can I please interrupt you there for a moment while we take a really, really quick infomercial break? I'm sorry to actually interrupt you. Yes,
okay.
please. Thank you so much. Viewers at home, we'll be right back after this.
Why should we pay our TV license?
The content on our local television is actually more up to date. The industry is enhanced.
It is a criminal offense not to pay your TV license and attracts a fine of 500 emalangeni or 6 months imprisonment.
And the industry is definitely blooming, ladies and gentlemen. So that's what we have for you. But we'll be right back just after the break, and we'll give you more of Miss V.
Pay my TV license. That's why I can enjoy the benefits of an enhanced industry and keep track with recent transformation.
Mommy, who paid for a TV license and what are they paying for?
The owners of TV set and a gadget with a tuner like DVD set have to pay.
Pay your TV license at NetBank with the details provided on screen. Or use your cell phone via the mobile money pay. You could also visit your nearest post office and pay there. Pay your TV license via Eswatini Mobile Imali. Any TV device retailer can purchase a license to trade. Pay your TV license and enhance the industry.
Buhle bethu imvelo yethu. Buhle bethu tindzawo tethu. Indalo yashada nemasiko kuhle kwethu. Kuvakasha kwethula umthwalo emahlombe ethu. Hloma ngwane vuka uvakashe indlela uyikhombe etindzaweni tethu. Temvelo nembukiso ungcebeleke uthathe netithombe. Lalela ke nangu sonkondlo waseswatini akutekela ayibeka indzaba ayihlela kuhle kwelijaha lishela ngiyakutshela diningi tindzawo longativakashela hloma ngwane vuka uvakashela phana lapha kuvakasha kuyayelapha enhlitiyo kanye nemqondo kuyawuphumuda kugcinisa buhlobo nebungane losebundenga ndenga with a trip to Mantenga Falls or a sip among friends of Sibebe Brew on Sibebe Mountain, or perhaps your cup of tea is backpacking and horse riding, sightseeing the seamless streams and springs that stream across the gorgeous valleys of the mountainous kingdoms of Eswatini. We have you covered. Hloma ngwane vuka uvakashe, buhle bethu yimvelo yethu, buhle bethu ngabuthola nasebantwini bethu.
Welcome back to Home Study. My name is Nogwazi Dlamini. If you have just joined us, a very good afternoon to you. We are actually continuing with the religious education lesson, which is creation, with Nomfundo Dlamini for the Form 1s and the Form 2s. Nomfundo, I'll let you continue with your lesson.
Thank you so much, Nogwazi. Welcome back, dear learners. Yes, as I was saying, I have a picture for you that I want us to look at. If you look at this picture, you will see that it is not a very clear picture. You can't even easily tell what you see on the picture. But you can tell that this is just water. And I don't know what you are going to call this, but I am going to tell you that this is a firmament. This is how the earth was before God created everything. This is how the earth looked like. So this image shows the state of the universe before creation. It was filled with water and a firmament. There was no earth, there was no heaven. It was just in that state. So God created the heavens and the earth just from that you have seen on that picture that I have just shown to you. What does the word creation mean? Creation could mean two things. It can mean the making of things, or it can also mean things made, the making of things. So when we are talking about God making the universe and everything that exists in the universe, we call that creation. Also, the things that God made are God's creation. So that is still creation. So that is so today we will learn how God created the universe, as I have said, in just 6 days. We have seen in the picture that before God created, the earth was just filled with water and that firmament. If you go to Genesis 1 verse 1, as you are going to read from your Bibles, I hope they are with you right now. Genesis 1 verse 1, you will find that before before God created anything, the earth was without form. It had no shape. It was just a confused place. There was nobody to live there. Nobody will even long to live in such a place. It was not conducive for anybody to live in it. It was without form, it was void, and it was filled with darkness. That is what verse 1 teaches us. And then let us first look at the creation account according to Genesis 1. Because this creation account is according to Genesis 1, we call it the first creation account. So Genesis 1 gives us the days in which God created everything in the 6 days. It tells us what happened on the first, the second, up to the 6th day. Let us look at this table before us. So it summarizes Genesis 1, the creation story according to Genesis 1. On the first day, the first column, it's the day in which God created. Then the second one is the creation, what God made on that day. And then last one is the purpose, why God created that, okay? Let us look at the first day, dear Lena. We have said that Genesis 1 verse 1 tells us that the earth was void and without form. It was filled with darkness. It was filled with darkness. And then the first thing that God created was light. So God said, let there be light. And then there was light. Why did God create light? God simply wanted the light. So God simply wanted to separate day from night. So God knew that in order for him to have day and also to have night, he needed to separate. He needed to create light so that it separates the day and the night. And on the second day, my dear Form 1s and Form 2s, God decided to create the sky. This is the second thing that God created on the second day. God, why do you create a sky? God wanted to separate the waters from the waters. Yes, I meant waters. God wanted to separate the waters from the waters. You have seen in the picture that I have shown you that the earth was filled with just waters. So God wanted to separate the waters from the waters. Okay. So it means that God wanted to make a dry land. That is why God decided to separate the waters from the waters. Which is why on the third day we saw God creating dry land. He separated the waters from the waters. And he said, let there be dry land. And it was so. So on the third day, God created dry land. And he could tell that the land was not pleasing. It was not beautiful like he wanted it to be. So he decided to create plants just to beautify the earth that he has created, the dry land that he had created. So he wanted to make it beautiful, appealing. So he created plants. Why dry land? So that trees will grow from dry land. Why trees? Why plants? So that there will be fruits. The trees and the plants will bear fruits and all kinds of food. So we can tell that God had a purpose for everything that he had created. Let's move on then, my dear learners, and look at what God created on the fourth day now. So on the fourth day, God created the great lights, the sun, the moon, and as well as the stars. Why did God create all this? So God created this, yes, to produce light. He wanted the stars, the moon, and the sun to produce light. The sun to produce light by the day, the moon and the stars to produce light by the night. But that's not the only purpose. God wanted these lights to indicate the seasons. We talk about the 4 seasons of the year. These seasons are indicated by the sun, the moon, and the stars. For example, you know that in summer, we have long day lights. The sun comes out early, and sunset comes very late. So we know that we can tell by the sun the change of the 4 seasons. Okay, and definitely he wanted these lights to rule over day and night. The sun to rule the day, and the moon and the stars to rule the night. If you read Genesis 1 verse 14 to 16, you will see what the teacher is talking about. And on the 5th day, God created sea animals and birds. God created sea animals and birds. Why did God create the sea animals and the birds? God wanted the sea animals to multiply and fill the seas. God didn't want the seas to just have water. So he wanted animals to dwell on the sea.
Why birds? He could tell that he had created a very beautiful sky. There was something missing for him. So he created the birds to fly in the sky. So God, that is why every time he created, he will say it was beautiful. So God thought the sky would be beautiful if there were birds flying over the sky. And then on the last day, which is the 6th day, God created land animals, and then God created man, and that man was Adam. God created land animals so that the man that he had created will not just be alone, so that his earth will not be vacant. So he wanted these animals to be there. And then he created man as a very unique creation, to have dominion, to rule over all the other creatures that he had made, all his creation. He wanted men to be fruitful, to multiply, and to fill and subdue the earth, as stated in Genesis 1 verse 28. That is how God created everything in 6 days, according to Genesis 1. Now, dear Lena, let us look at the second creation account, which is found in Genesis 2 now. Genesis 2 states, just the first verse of Genesis 2 tells you that the earth and the heavens were already created. So God did not need to create that. So the second account just tells us in the beginning that the heavens and the earth were already created. And then the next verse tells us that a mist went up from the earth. A mist went up from the earth. And then obviously to water the plants that God had made. So the plants needed that mist. And then God formed man. According to Genesis 2, God formed man from dust. And then he breathed on his nostrils and gave him the soul. He then planted a garden in the Garden of Eden. We've talked about the Garden of Eden a number of times. Sunday school, preschool. Yes, we've talked about the Garden of Eden. Then you shall know that after creating man, God made the Garden of Eden. And then he placed the man in the Garden of Eden. He then planted some trees. Why trees? So that they produce food for the men that he had placed in the garden. Amongst the trees that God had planted in the Garden of Eden, there were two very important trees worthy of noting. That is the tree of life and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. We often refer to it as the tree of knowledge. And then when God placed man in the garden, he commanded that man can eat from any tree in the garden, but not from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And then God created a huge river, a very big river, divided it into 4 small rivers. It was one big river divided into 4 small rivers. That is the river Pishon, the river Gihon, the river Tigris, and the river Euphrates. You know a song that talks about the river Pishon by Shongen and is it Shongen Kupuga? Yes. And then after God had made the river, after God had made everything for Adam, plans for him, God saw that Adam was very lonely and he decided to do something about it. God created a woman to be with Adam. He created Eve from Adam's ribs. That is why she's referred to as a woman, because she was made from men. And lastly, in verse 24, verse 25, the last thing that is created in the second account is marriage. So God created the first marriage when he said that, therefore, a man will leave his mother and father and cleave to his wife, and they will become one flesh. That was God initiating marriage, instituting marriage. Why did God create the universe? God simply wanted to bring order, as we have seen that the universe was void, without form, filled with darkness. I have said earlier on that it was confused. It was just filled with confusion. So God wanted to bring order, because God is a man of order. Also, God could have just created men to live on the earth and on the earth that he had created. But why did God bother to create plants and animals? So God simply wanted to create a conducive environment for men to live in. He wanted to create a conducive environment for his creation. So everything that God created has a purpose, as we've seen with the first creation account. And also, God created everything to express his love and care for human beings. You will attest, dear learners, that everything that God created is of benefit to human beings. So that is why God created that. Human beings are unique unique creations, unique creatures. They are unique from the rest of God's creation. God made them to be different from the rest of his creation. How are they different? Let us look at that. God made man in his own image. That you will find in Genesis 1 verse 26, when God says, let us make man in our image, in our likeness. So God made human beings in his image to be like him. So that makes them unique from the rest of his creation. And then God gave them dominion to rule over his creation. That makes them unique. That makes them different from the rest of his creation. When in the very same verse, verse 26, continues to say, let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the air, and over all the earth. So that tells us that human beings are different because they were given dominion. And then lastly, they have souls. That also make them to be a unique creation. They have souls, which animals do not have, which plants obviously do not have. How do we know that human beings have souls? Genesis 2 verse 7, you will find this. Then God formed man from dust and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. That is the soul that I am talking about. Okay, that is how human beings are different. We have said that we are going to look at the attributes of God, or the nature of God. What do we learn about God? What do we learn about the nature of God? Okay, when you look at the creation account, you will see that we learn that God is the creator. When you look at the creation story, we can tell that God is a creator. How? Because he made everything from nothing. According to his perfect plan, he made everything from nothing. So everything was made by God. So that tells us that he is a creator because he was able to create. Okay. And also, my dear learners, we learn that God is Trinity. What do we mean by God being Trinity? Here we simply mean that God is, we mean the three persons, the three aspects of God, which is God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit. How do we learn that? He said in Genesis 1 verse 26, let us make man. Who was us? So God was simply talking to his other persons, to his other aspects, which is the Son and the Holy Spirit. So we learn that God is not just one person, but God is in three persons. We also learn, my dear learners, that God is omnipotent. what do we mean by omnipotent? We simply mean that he is all powerful. He is mighty. He is all powerful. He has power over everything. Okay, so that tells us that he is an all powerful man. He is omnipotent. And also we learn that God is omniscient. He was there before anything else existed. He's omniscient. He was there before anything else existed, which tells us that God is all knowing. Because God was there before anything else, that means that there is nothing that exists that God does not know. God knows everything. So he is all knowing. He's omniscient. Okay. And we also learn that God is omnipresent. What do we mean by omnipresent? Here we simply mean that he is present everywhere at all times. God is present in all places, everywhere. The earth was void and without form. So there was nothing like someone was standing on top of a rock. Someone was standing on top of a tree. There was nothing like that. But God was there. Where was God? He was just everywhere. So that tells us that he is omnipresent. He is present everywhere at all times. Okay. This brings us then to the end of our lesson. My dear learners, I will just like to give you this assessment questions which you are going to work on at home when you think of the lesson that we had today, or when you try to recap on the lesson that we had today. The first question that I want you to look at is a knowledge question, a question that tests your knowledge. How much have you mastered the content that we've covered today? Here's the first question. Name any 2 ways in which the Garden of Eden was watered. Name any 2 ways in which the Garden of Eden was watered. The second question is explain. You need to explain, elaborate on the points that you're going to give. Any 2 reasons why God created the universe. And then the last question is it's an evaluation question. It says, it first gives you a stimulus. Human beings are different from the rest of God's creation. That is the statement just given to you. And then the question is, do you agree with the statement that I've just read to you? Give reasons for your answer and show that you have thought about different points of view. In this question, you are going to give me your stand. Tell me if you think the statement is, tell me if you agree with the statement, or if you don't, then you are taking your stand. And after that, you tell me why you agree with the statement, or why you don't agree with the statement. And then you consider that other people may think differently from you. So you state what other people may think. That is why the question says, show that you have thought about different points of view. Okay, that is your assessment for today. You will note then, dear learners, that as I wrap up, you will note that we have looked at the creation story, the first creation account, and the second creation account. We also looked at reasons why God created the universe. We have also seen how human beings are different from the rest of God's creation. And lastly, we looked at the attributes or the nature of God revealed in the creation story. That then, dear learners, brings us to the end of our lesson.
Thank you so much, Nomfundo, for that lesson. It was really, really lovely. And we're hoping the Form 1s and the Form 2s actually enjoyed it, and they'll be able to do the assessment that you just gave them.
I hope so too.
Thank you so much. We'll be seeing you soon.
Yes.
I like the pause there. All right, Form 4s, get closer to your screens because up next is the English language lesson with Kombisa Lukele. We'll be right back after this.
The change in technology, out-of-home digital media is designed to grab the attention of people who are always on the go. You can now watch your favorite show, Usile Breakfast Show and Dinzaba at 7 on your favorite YouTube channel.
It's simple. You can stream these shows by following these quick, easy steps. Number 1, open YouTube. Number 2, search for Eswatini TV and click on Eswatini TV. Number 3, after you had entered on Eswatini TV, look for Tinzaba or KPS. And while you at it, don't forget to like, subscribe and ring the bell button to get notifications of our video uploads and streams. And lastly, enjoy the stream. Stay home and watch Eswatini TV. Stay safe.
Emaphoyisa nesive lolu hlelo lwakho loluchamuka khona embuthweni wembube lolufundzisa kabanti liphindze lixwayise sona phela sive ngato tindzaba tekuvikela bona kucala.
Thokotela uhlelo lwakho emaphoyisa nesive kuso sikhathi lesisha njalo ngabo lesine ngensimbi yesihlanu ntambama khona la Eswatini TV.
A very warm welcome back to our viewers. This is Home Study on Eswatini TV. If you have just joined us, a very good afternoon to you. This is the Form 4 lesson, which is English language with Mr. Kombisa Lukele, who is already with me in the studio. Also joining me in the studio is our sign language interpreter, Nombumelelo Hadebe. Kombisa, how are you this afternoon?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you, Nogwazi?
I'm doing good, thank you very much. Today, I understand we're doing style in writing.
That's correct.
Okay, what are you expecting your Form 4s at home to have learned by the end of the lesson?
At the end of this lesson, I expect the Form 4s to have learned how to write concisely and also effectively in the English language. And then also, I expect them to be able to create awareness and sensitivity to language usage in the English language.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Form 4s, we hope that you are ready for that. Sounds like a lovely lesson indeed. And of course, a reminder that we are live right now on Facebook and on YouTube. If you have any questions, please feel free to use our WhatsApp number. Kombisa, you may please begin your lesson.
Thank you, Nogwazi. Good day, dear viewers at home. My Form 4 learners, this is EGCSE or Form 4 English Language. Today in our lesson, we are looking at style in writing as it is reflected there. Style in writing. So, our lesson objectives as outlined is to help you to write concisely and effectively, and also to create awareness and sensitivity to language usage in English. So, I think the best way to start is to probably look at style. What is it? Let us define style. We are going to define it simply without being sophisticated or being complex about it. Style can be defined as simply what? The choice of words and also sentence structures and also paragraph structures that may be used to convey what? Meaning effectively. That's the important part. Conveying meaning how? Effectively. So that is what style is. It is what? The choice of words, the sentence structures that you're going to use, and also the paragraph structures that you will be using in your writing. So that entails what? It entails the style of writing. So now let us get into this one. I want us to look at these two sentences that are on your screen right now. There's sentence A and sentence B. So when you look at sentence A, It says, the teacher entered our classroom and with an angry face started looking around from one corner to the other. The teacher entered our classroom and with an angry face started looking around from one corner to the other. And then let's go to sentence B. Sentence B says, the teacher stormed into our classroom and his hawk-like eyes immediately scanned our faces with fierce contempt, or rather with fierce intent. I'll read that again. The teacher stormed into our classroom and his hawk eyes immediately scanned our faces with fierce intent. So let us look at these two sentences. These two sentences all convey what? The same message, the same meaning. They are telling us about what? A teacher having come into a classroom and then looked inside the classroom, probably in search of a specific person. It might be a culprit that we may think of. But then the words that have been used to convey this meaning are different. Then that speaks to what we call what? Style of writing. Let's look at sentence A. It says the teacher did what? Entered. When you enter, it's just to come into a building. So the teacher came into the building, that is, came into the classroom, and with an angry face, okay, we are told with an angry face, and then he looked around from one corner to the other. All right, that is sentence A. The message is kind of the same with that one of sentence B. But sentence B, let's look at the choice of words that we said entails style. Let's look at the choice of words and then the effect that those words have on the overall on the meaning rather. That is the same message that is conveyed in sentence A. So the teacher, instead of entered, but we've got this one, stormed. So this is a specific or it's a precise verb that tells us more about the manner in which the coming into the class by the teacher happened. So this is what we call precise language. All right, it is a precise, it's precision in your writing. You don't necessarily have to explain in so many different words the manner in which the teacher came in. By mere mentioning the fact that he stormed into the classroom, you are giving us the idea that he did what? He did what? He came in and he was angry, because when you storm into a building, when you storm into a place, it means that you are angry and then you are coming in there aggressively. So, and then again, continuing with the same sentence, and his hawk-like eyes immediately. His hawk-like eyes. So these here, it's hawk-like eyes. So here again, the style. This can be maybe referred to as a simile, because it's like his eyes were like those of a hawk. But at the same time, this simile has been used in this sentence as an adjective. An adjective to what? To this noun, the eyes. So we are told that with his hawk-like eyes immediately did what? Scanned our faces. Again, here is another precise verb. He didn't just look around, but he scanned our faces. So the verb scan has got this deeper meaning to it. So that is the style of writing. You are saying the same thing, but not necessarily the same thing when you're saying looking around and then also doing what? Scanning. But because scanning says you are looking with what? With intent. You are specifically searching for something. You are specifically, so the teacher here was specifically searching for a particular or specific face. So that is why we are told he scanned our faces with what? With fierce intent, instead of just looking around from one corner to the other. So this, my dear viewer at home, it's what style is. So the way that you write, you may be conveying the same message, but the words that you're going to use, the choice of words that you are using will be different. And if you use precise vocabulary, if you use precise words, your style is going to be more effective than just the regular words that maybe an ordinary writer might use. Allow me to use the word ordinary in this case. So this is just an example of what exactly we'll be talking about in today's lesson. All right, let's go to this next slide where we are basically talking about what? The 4 language skills. Let me remind you of the 4 language skills. I know you did them in the first lesson that you had on reading. So over the previous 3 lessons, we've been talking about reading. So this lesson now, I'm coming in to talk about what? Writing as another skill of language. So the 4 skills of language are what? We've got these ones. We've got listening, which is number 1, and then number 2, we've got speaking. 3 here, it is reading, and 4 is writing. So between these, the 2 skills here are called inputs, or rather what we call the receptive skills. What does receptive mean? This means this word receptive is from this word right here, receive. So these skills, listening and reading, are how we receive the English language. This is how we receive the English language. And we need to receive the English language before we can actually produce it. Right. We need to first receive. So for there to be an output, there needs to be what? An input first. So what is the input? The input will be through listening to the English language so that you are able to learn and acquire the intonation, the stress patterns, so that you're able to acquire pronunciation of certain words, because you have listened to it and then you have seen how to pronounce those words. And then, therefore, you can be able to speak after that. Same thing with reading. You've been doing reading, and then you've been doing what? The writer's intent and the effective ways writers use in order to convey meaning. So now we are now talking about, it is now your what? Your turn to try and produce what you've been reading in the previous 3 lessons. All right. It is your time to now produce that. And here is when you have read, you'll be able to write, because in writing, you are merely producing what you have received. So that is why speaking and writing are called productive skills. So what is the importance of this? The importance of this is the fact that, dear Form 4s, you really need to expose yourself to the English language as much as you can, and try to read so many different topics and subject areas. So that is very, very important. Reading is key, because without reading, you will not be able to do what? To produce the language, because it is through reading where you are going to do what? To receive the precise vocabulary. It is through reading where you are going to receive what? Accurate sentence structures. You will be able to see how sentences are constructed. All right. It is through reading where you are going to see in action the use of literary devices, so that even yourself, you are able to produce that. And again, it is through reading where you are going to see and be exposed to what? Proper punctuation, proper paragraphing, correct spellings. All these are important. I'll make an example with paragraphing. For example, you will know, I know in school we teach you the structure of a paragraph, right? And then we'll tell you there'll be a topic sentence, there will be those supporting sentences, and then finally there'll be a concluding sentence. So that is the general structure of a paragraph. But then, however, in English, we do not have a one-size-fits-all, if I may put it like that. Because when you write a different form or a genre, the paragraphing, or rather the rules and the conventions of paragraphing differ, right? You can use that structure, that familiar structure of having a topic sentence, having supporting sentences, a concluding sentence, in probably argumentative writing. That is how you are expected to write. Discursive writing, yes. Even descriptive, informative pieces, yes. But when it comes to narrative, for example, narrative can be different. In narrative writing, for example, you can have a one-sentence paragraph. It is permissible only in narrative. Okay, probably not only in narrative, but in narrative, yes. Paragraphing, the rules of paragraphing, you can have a one-sentence paragraph, but you cannot have a one-sentence paragraph in what? In argumentative writing, in discursive writing. All right, but again, having that one-sentence paragraph, you need to know the effect that you want to create. Why do you do that? And then we are going to learn from reading before you can actually apply that. Okay, in narrative writing, you can have these one-sentence paragraphs. It's okay. It's not even one-sentence paragraphs. You can even have what? A one-word paragraph in narrative writing. The form itself, the style of narrating allows for that, right? For certain effect. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. Why do we write? That's the question. The bottom line is we write to convey meaning. All right. When you convey meaning, basically we write to communicate. You communicate a message or something that you want to convey to the reader. And in doing so, you are doing so because you want to achieve what? A specific purpose, or to meet a specific purpose. When you write, you don't just write for the sake of writing, but you write because there's a specific purpose that you want to meet. So such purposes would be probably to apologize. Where does the style come in here? If you are apologizing, the style of writing is different from when, for example, you are inviting someone. So by reading, you are able to achieve or acquire the style, the language that is used when you're apologizing, such that when someone reads the piece where you are apologizing, probably it's going to be an informal letter. You write an informal letter to a friend, and then you are apologizing for any wrongdoing that you did to them. When they read that letter, they should feel the sincerity that is carried in the letter. And then how are you going to do that? You will be able to do that by using what? The appropriate and precise vocabulary that does what? That shows you are apologizing, even without you mentioning what? The word apology in your writing. But from the style of writing that you are using, from the choice of words that you are using, you can show that you are apologizing to this person. Again, we can write to send an invitation, also to narrate. We can write to inform, describe, persuade, or to convince, which is what we call an argumentative writing. So these are some examples of what? Of the purposes in which we set out to write. You want to meet that purpose. And then again, you are going to apply the style that is relevant to that particular purpose that you want to meet or to achieve. So in this case, I already mentioned that you should be able to address a variety of topics with significant precision and detail. Precision and detail being the key here. Precision in terms of style. And again, reading is important because you want to be in a position to be able to do what? To address a variety of topics. Variety of topics there. So which means that, again, when you read, this will probably, as an example, go out to the boys out there. You would want to reconsider doing what? Reading only material that is relevant to sports. When you get your local newspaper, you go to the back pages, or you read only newspapers and even magazines that only deal with sports, which it can be soccer. And then you only maybe read certain material that talks about a subject matter that is of interest to you. You need to, I'd say, use the common language that is used these days. Normalize doing what? Reading a variety of topics, because in the exam, you might be called upon to do what? To write about, maybe to write a piece about what? About probably, say, write a speech on and create an awareness about the dangers of pollution. So if you are not interested in pollution and environmental issues, but then there is a question now, it requires you to do it, to write about pollution. So it is important that you read a different variety of topics so that you have got content. You know what to write about. So let's get to the next slide. To be effective in your writing, you need to expose yourself to written language so you can harvest the different grammatical structures. Here is it. We are harvesting what? Different grammatical structures that are used. So if you read a lot, you'll be able to get these. So these grammatical structures are the style that we are talking about today. They will enable you to be able to vary your sentence lengths, to vary rather your grammatical structures and all of that. Having harvested these, you can then produce, which is the key word. You can then produce what? Your own effective piece of writing or essay, an effective one, not just